That's me, Franny.
Hi, welcome back to FrannyTings. As you see, we have another guest. Brr, 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 brr. Give it up for Kendrick, not Lamar.
What's up, guys? Thank you for having me on your show today, Franny. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for coming. And the reason why I wanted to get Kendrick on my show is because I think that his entrepreneurial story is beautiful. He is the owner of HGAP Studios, which I am lucky to be a part of this family as a manager and as well as just a friend. So very blessed about that. Every time I hear Kendrick's story about all the things that he's been through to get to where he is today, I always get so inspired. So I wanted to bring that inspiration to my platform. There's a lot of people that don't know the story behind HGAB, and I'm ready for Kendrick to go ahead and tell that. So yeah, Kendrick, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Awesome. Well, first of all, we are actually very lucky to have you, Franny, be a part of the HCAP team. And it's very sweet, all the nice things that you say about me. But honestly, without your help and your cooperation and all your amazing opinions and all that really awesome sass that you bring to HCAP, like, we wouldn't be where we are today. So thank you for being a part of the team,
Aw, that means so much to me. I'm like,
So yeah, my name is Kendrick. I'm actually one of the 4 founders of HCAP Studios. Our project started about 5 years ago when we bought our first camera. Just like every other creative starts their journey, when they first buy their first piece of equipment to then take them to the next level. So our journey basically starts there. And I think for me, it's very important to say that because everybody's always asking me, oh, how did you start HGAB? How did you guys do this? How did you guys do that? And all we did was buy a camera. And from there, things started to spawn and grow. And we started to go and kind of exploring and seeing where everything took us. And here we are today.
Yeah. And I wanted to get more into the details of how you as an individual started I would say your business journey or your entrepreneur story, because I know it, but I definitely love to hear it. So go ahead.
Okay, cool. So I always knew that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. And I know that sounds very crazy, but when I was 6 years old, I basically told myself, hey, you're never going to work for a company. You're just going to work for yourself and develop something and just do it on your own. And I think a lot of that comes from my parents being entrepreneurs. They came here when I was very young. I was 5 years old when I came to the United States from Venezuela. They came here to obviously give me and my brothers and sister a way better life. And I saw all the struggles that they went through when they first moved here and all the little entrepreneurial things that they would attempt to do to kind of keep our family afloat. And from there, I just kind of picked up on that and was like, hey, I can do this myself. I can be an entrepreneur. I can make my own money. So I started my first business at 6 years old. Selling golf balls to golfers in my house where we lived. In the backyard, we had a golf course. And at 6 o'clock, when the course would close, I would go out hunting for golf balls. And I knew exactly where the spots were. I would go near the lakes and, kind of fish them out of the water, this, that, and the other. And the following day, I would sell them back to the golfers for $4 for $1. So I was just racking in the dough, to be honest with you.
That is so funny and shady, but it's such a good idea.
Dude,
selling it back to them.
It was there.
And they didn't catch on to it?
No, they actually really loved it. They loved the fact that, one, I would go out and kind of hunt for the lost balls and I would just resell it back to them. They knew that I was a little kid, so they just wanted to support a young entrepreneur. And then from there, my SKUs started to grow, if you will. So I started selling sodas. I started selling chips, anything, Gatorades, literally anything to help them with their game, I guess.
With their game.
And slowly but surely, I started to grow a clientele in which before I had a bike with a basket, and I would just put all my stuff in there, and I would go out to them. Eventually I started to grow the name a little bit, and everybody knew exactly where my house was. So people would just come to me. So I had like a drive-through service with the golf carts.
Damn,
it was pretty cool.
You're like, come.
I was balling.
Wow, we love to see that.
It was cool.
And one thing that I notice about you is the mental strength that you have. I feel like you bring this energy into a room every single where you go. Oh my God, everywhere you go.
Okay.
So I wanted to ask you, is there a mindset that you think you have to be an entrepreneur or a business owner? And is this something that you develop over time, or is this something that you think you always had within you?
Well, honestly, I want to say the very first, I guess the first trait that always comes to my mind that an entrepreneur needs to have is just confidence. Because really, when you step into the world of entrepreneurship, you're stepping into the world of the unknown. Right? So many different things could happen at the same time, and so many different things do happen at the same time, where you have to just be very confident in the things that you're doing and the things that you're saying, especially if you're leading a team, if you're, trying to get people on board, if you have very little budget, if you have anything, whatever it might be, you just need to have confidence in what you're doing, and then just tell yourself, hey, things are going to work out. They might not work out exactly how I envision them in my head, but if I keep working hard and I'm confident, things will work out.
Right.
So, and then that's basically what kind of has kept me and the rest of the crew just kind of going, just that confidence. Like, we're working hard, we're doing something really great towards our community, and from there things begin to flourish. So it's very, very important that you're confident.
Right. Like your optimism.
Yeah,
I feel like that's something that you have a lot of.
100%. And
You're
I have so much to go
I have
around.
this idea. Like, look, this is what we're going to do. And I'm like,
let's do it.
Okay, yes, I'm in. One thing you mentioned there was a team, having a strong team. So I wanted to ask you what it's like, having a strong team, because I know that you have been working more or less with the same people, starting HGAB and running other businesses. So I wanted to go ahead and get into that and how you think teamwork can lead to just a successful business overall. Right.
So honestly, we've all heard the saying, teamwork makes the dream work. And honestly, that's it. One thing that I wish I would have learned when I was younger was the ability to put together a good team, right? Because as entrepreneurs, we don't really think about putting together a team to be able to help with all these things. We just want to do everything ourselves. And a lot of the times people are very hands-on with everything, which is a great thing to have. But eventually, in order to take over the world, as they say,
right?
It's impossible to do it on your own. So it's very important to start to kind of hang out with people that you can connect with, people that share that same mentality, that same mindset of like, go get it. If it's not here, let's go get it.
Right.
So for me, my biggest strength in my entrepreneurship career, God, I wish I could say that better. My biggest strength is honestly my team. And by my team, it's not necessarily my team. It's I don't really see it that way. It's a team, and we all work together to achieve the same things in which, everybody wins. That's super important. So having a good, solid team to be able to execute all the amazing projects that you want to do, it's super important. And if you guys are trying to achieve something and you're on your own, I honestly suggest to start branching out to other people, to start delegating all the craziness that needs to happen to succeed.
Right. And another thing I wanted to ask, so I know more or less, the sacrifices that you guys had to make in order to, have HGAB running today. So I wanted to get a little bit more in depth of all the sacrifices you've made, to get to where you are today. The good and the bad,
Yeah, of course. So sacrifices as an entrepreneur, you're gonna make a lot of sacrifices. Sacrifices that you may not even think that you're gonna make. You're gonna make them, and that's very important because that's what kind of keeps the ship going. My apologies. That's what kind of keeps everything rolling, the sacrifices that you have to make. So we already know that you have to put in the time and the effort, right? That's sweat equity. That's what I call sweat equity, where you're just busting your ass. You're going to sleep super late, waking up super early, and just grinding. But there's other sacrifices that you have to do depending on where you're at in your career or what resources you have. So, for example, if you're starting off your journey with very little amount of money, then we already know that we have to work that 9 to 5 to eventually start funding that project, that passion project, and then eventually ease out of that 9 to 5 into your full time, which is your own journey, right? So that's one thing. Another sacrifice that we've made that a lot of people didn't or don't even know about is we actually lived inside of our production studio. And the reason we did that, and by we, I mean us, the 4 founders, we said to ourselves, because we started our project from our home, where we all live together,
which is crazy because I lived a block away from that home, and I didn't know until I started working here. That's insane.
That was wild. So when we started the project from our home and our home studio, we eventually started to acquire bigger and bigger clients, which was fantastic for us, right? But it was getting very awkward to bring big clients. Like, at the time, our biggest client was Fendi. It was
I didn't know this.
Yeah.
Wow, snaps.
So we landed that client, and it was kind of awkward having to bring that client into our home to have a meeting, and then so they could see where we were working from and all this stuff. And that's when we knew, we were like, all right, we need to take this to the next level, right? But in order for us to do that, we were very limited funding. We had no money. We literally had no money. We were just working our 9 to 5s, doing the little studio thing. So what we decided to do was, hey, let's look into an area where we know it's very commercial, but is also being operated as a live work space, let's say. Right. And then we found Wynwood, which was and is the art district of South Florida, which is fantastic to be in, especially in what we do. And we basically moved into a building which allowed us to live and work inside that same building. And we came into a blank canvas, a big giant box, if you will, and it didn't have any rooms. It didn't have a kitchen. It had bathrooms and a big open box, right? And we basically decided, hey, we're going to build our bedrooms here, and we're going to work here, and we're going to live here until we don't have to do that anymore. So we built walls, we built bedrooms. The 4 founders all moved into one office/studio, and 4 or 5 years later, here we are today, 12,000 square feet. We're not living here anymore. But believe it or not, after this year, we actually we decided to move out. So we actually lived inside the building, inside our studio, for about 5 years.
Yeah, that's crazy. And I remember visiting your apartment where you are now, and I got so emotional because I'm just like, wow, I was able to see that come up. I mean, not for 5 years, but I would say for like a good 2 years now. Right. I was able to see that you guys were living there, and now you guys are like so happy in your own home that you can kind of escape, because I think that's also important. Having a business, I feel like you guys were, even though yes you had your own like free time, but you guys were always on work mode because you were living on site, right? You would wake up to loud noise, a music video right next to you. So I'm sure having your own space created that environment that you get to finally like breathe.
I'll be honest, our biggest success actually came from making that big sacrifice of living and working here, because it was nonstop. For 5 years, 365 days a year, we were just working. We would wake up, work, go to sleep, work. It was just work. And that contributed heavy towards the growth, because once you kind of, keep going at it and going at it and going at it, eventually something happens, right? In which that I want to say was a big contributing factor, the fact that we worked so hard, and we continue to work very hard. But we put everything aside, we put our lives aside, and we were like, we're gonna do this, and it was a lot because we didn't have any funds going into this project, right? So we figured we can either get an office and live in the office and have both a place to live and work, or we can get a really small office that really isn't going to do much for us and have a home to live in. Right. And there, we're pretty much not going to spend any time in that home. Exactly. We're just going to be in the office. Because you're constantly going to be working. So we were like, how do we make it where we combine it all together? We figured it out. We found a really cool location. We moved in. We got to work. And here we are.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, and then having that separate space now that we have a separate home, and,
Right.
now that we've chipped away at it for 5 years, it's very important now that the business is successful and it's rolling and things are happening. It is very important to have a space where you can now step back and just kind of relax.
Yeah, like detach kind of in a way.
Even though it's impossible. As entrepreneurs,
it's always impossible.
We're always on. You know,
Right.
There's never an off moment.
Right.
But it's always nice to at least think about the business or work on the business somewhere else,
Right.
you know, outside of that box. So it's pretty cool that we have our own place now.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
I've already said it, but I'm super proud of you guys. I feel like you guys work so well as a team. And I remember the first Meet Your Muse that I came. So for you guys that don't know, so Age Gap Studios, we used to have this event pre-COVID.
We still have it, you know, just because COVID hasn't let us host it again.
Yeah, but we had this event called Meet Your Muse, and basically what it was a content creation party. So we would have models, photographers, photography installations, open bar, DJ. And the first time I heard about it, I got invited by a friend that was actually interning for HGAB. And I was about to not go because I'm like, oh my God, like I'm not good enough. Like I talk about all of it in my first podcast, so go ahead and check that out. But I'm just going to recap because, you know, some people be fake and not listen from the first episode.
Facts.
So the first time I came, I remember the first person that greeted me was Busy.
Okay.
And Busy is basically one of the founders of HGAB Studios. And I remember you guys just created this like infectious energy that just made me like what the fuck is this place? Like this is like Disneyland for freaking creators. It's crazy. And I remember looking around and I'm like, you can work here? Like this is something that you can get money to do? Like, oh my God. And I remember that first time I went, I was like, I need to work here. Like I need to do it. And I remember I would keep going to every single Meet Your Muse. And what kept me going, yes, was like the cool stuff that was going on, but also the energy that you bought. And, you know, you just make HGAP Studios such a like welcoming place for all types of creators, you know,
right.
from beginners to professionals like Tatan, you know,
right.
It's crazy how I don't know, I was able to see that growth, and I'm continuing to see that as I'm
it's
here.
so important to have that energy because, to be honest with you, I see this place as a giant playground, right? And just like you go to a playground where you see a bunch of little kids running around and having the time of their lives, that place is HGAB. You know, we play here every single day. We play by being creative. We play by growing something or starting something or, you know, pushing something. So I think it's super important to have that energy inside a space, because it only draws you to what you want to continue to do and want to achieve. And then the cool thing is, like, other people start to get infected by that energy, and then everybody just starts to collaborate with each other and have fun and again, just help each other collaborate and grow whatever their craft or their projects may be. So I think it's super important. And I always tell everybody, anybody can have a studio, anybody can have equipment, anybody can have everything that we have here at HGAB. But it's how you feel inside the space that makes us unique. That's what's proprietary to HGAB Studios. So making people feel welcome here, making people feel happy here, that's our ultimate goal.
Right.
And that's it.
Wild. So this is gonna get like a little personal, but
okay. As I knew it would.
You're like Franny being Franny, always asking deep questions. So I remember that you were telling me once that you were actually in a coma for, I believe, I don't know how long it was, like a month, I think.
It was a couple weeks.
Yeah. So I wanted to get into that, and I wanted to see, like, did that change your perspective at all when it came to life in general? This is just as an individual, not so much a business, but just your overall life. How did you feel coming out of that, and how was the cause of it, and all that good stuff?
So honestly, that situation in my life was the turning point of my life, because pre-coma, if you will. I
think you were gonna say pre-COVID. I'm like,
pre my accident, which led me into a coma and all that stuff, I was just a very worried individual. I was a very anxious individual. I honestly thought that I was dying on an every single day basis. I was suffering from anxiety and And it was just a really dark place in my life. I was actually super young too. So I was about 16, 17 and depressed. I didn't know what was going on. Like it was just very awkward period in my life. After I did get into that car accident and did spend, some time in a coma. After coming out of that situation, I thought to myself, wow, every single day I'm fearful that I'm going to die. And then in fact, I almost go ahead and do die, or almost did die, or who knows, maybe I'm dead right now and I'm just living my best dead life.
Wow.
To be honest with you.
That's a cool thought.
I've thought about it. I've
Really?
thought about it. I'm like, what? Maybe I am dead, And now I get to experience everything that I wanted to experience when I was living. So
Wow.
with that being said, that kind of opened my eyes and I was like, look, everything is possible in this life. It all depends on how you intake things and how you perceive things and then what you do moving forward.
Right.
So from that situation, I was like, I could either live my life completely fearful and in a box and doing everything that society tells me to do and this, that, and the other, or I could just open my heart up, open my mind up and say, hey, this is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to do whatever it takes till I get there.
Right.
And that situation allowed me to just let all my fears go and just go for it.
Yeah, live. You're able to live now.
Just
I feel like
live.
after that.
Now I am not afraid to die. You know,
Right.
because hey, like I said, I could already be dead, which is fantastic, right? If this is the afterlife, then go me. So we have to drop those fears. A lot
Right.
of fear is what keeps people from not achieving their goals.
Yes.
The fear of anything, the fear of dying, the fear of failing, the fear of who the fuck
Of
cares?
loving too.
Or the
Even
fear of loving,
Yeah.
like all those fears is what puts people in a box and then continues to put them in a
Right.
box and restraints and all this stuff. Let go of all that.
Mm-hmm.
Let go of all that because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. We're all going to die. So whether you
So true,
live,
though.
either you live today or you die tomorrow and that's it. No, let's go. Let's go.
Period.
No fear.
Snapped. So good. Give it up for Kendrick. I need to do the
Yeah.
soundboard. So another question I wanted to ask you is, I think you basically kind of said it already, but just like one final statement. Is there any advice that you can give to any upcoming entrepreneur or business owner or someone who really just wants to live, you would say?
I mean, any advice that I can give anybody out there in the world, it doesn't matter what you want to do. The advice is just do it.
Nike.
Just do it. It doesn't matter if you're not ready. It doesn't matter if you don't have the cool equipment and this, that, and the other. It doesn't matter. Just do it. You never know what's going to happen from today till tomorrow. Just go and do it. There's nothing stopping you except for yourself.
Right.
So let's go.
And something I always say too is that there's no right timing. Everyone thinks like, oh, I have to start working out on a Monday. Why does everything have to be on a Monday? Monday doesn't exist. Like time is
The
literally
right time is the time that you start.
Exactly.
That is the right time.
Like time was literally invented for humans so we can have like a construct like
So we wouldn't be late for
life.
brunch.
Exactly.
You know?
It's so true.
Like honestly, that's what it is. Whatever you want to do, just go and do it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what's stopping you. If your parents are stopping you, if your friends don't support you, if you don't have the right equipment, if you don't have money. Like one of the biggest restraints that people for some reason have is the restraint of money. Because I don't have money, I can't do that. No. Because you don't have money makes you that much more inventive to
Right.
then be able to do that.
Right.
Like let's get creative. We started this project with $0 in our bank account, with zero equipment, zero knowledge about entrepreneurship, zero knowledge about running a studio, zero knowledge about running a business, zero knowledge on everything. And now, because we did it and we've gone through our trials and tribulations, we're in a space now that we understand how everything works. And now we get to use that knowledge that we've been building up for the past 5-6 years to continue to propel us forward. So just do it, please.
Just do
Not for me,
it.
for yourself.
For you.
Okay.
Yes, awesome. And one final question.
You can ask me as many questions as
before
possible.
we wrap up.
Okay.
Is there anything that maybe you like low-key hate about being a business owner? Is there anything that you're like because whenever you do something you truly enjoy, there's always going to be some negatives,
Right.
always. But obviously something positive always outweighs that. So is there anything that you can say that you're like
That I hate about entrepreneurship?
Yes.
And something I hate about entrepreneurship.
damn, you're like, I like making money, so everything else like it's fine with me.
Well, okay, so because
Ooh.
please cut that out. That's disgusting.
That's gonna be one of my posts.
Oh God, great. Why? Please listen to this podcast today. Something I hate about entrepreneurship. Honestly, and I know this is gonna sound cheesy, but I can't really come up with anything that I hate about it.
I knew it. I wasn't even gonna ask that but I'm like, let me try. Let me see if it comes out.
The thing is, like, I love what I do so much, so
Yeah.
I don't really see this as a job. I don't see this as an obligation. It's just something that I wake up in the morning and I look forward in doing. Whatever fire needs to be put out, I look forward to putting out those fires. Whatever things might be happening, whether they be good or bad, I just look forward in tackling it for the business, and for the growth of the business. So I don't really hate anything about being an entrepreneur. I love everything about being an entrepreneur because of the freedom that it does give me. I mean, if I wanted to walk out right now and go do something, I can do that. That's what entrepreneurs, not all the time. We still have to put in work.
Kendrick, you're on shift. Excuse me.
I'm out. So it's I love the freedom. I don't dislike anything about my life and what I do.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna say that, but I figured it was worth the try.
I'm just having fun. I'm just here having fun, trying to figure it out. I don't know it all. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that I do, because I don't, and none of us know anything that we're doing. Okay, we're just trying things, we're failing, we're succeeding, and we're just taking it one day at a time, one step at a time,
with many protocols.
With many protocols, which you and I have those conversations every day,
all the
and
time.
the rest of the team about protocols. Everything's protocols now. So but
Yep.
hey, it just keeps the ball rolling. So I'm excited
100%.
about more protocols to come.
Yay. Well, that's basically a wrap for all the questions I had.
Awesome.
Wow, you
Yeah.
killed it. You snapped. I feel like
Thank you.
very good with the flow.
Yeah.
So one more thing before we go.
Okay.
I wanted to say thank you so much for coming on. Also, thank you so much for having me a part of the family, having me a part of Age Gap Studios. So with that, I have a little regalo for you.
I love gifts. Careful, I might get on the table.
Quarterly meeting. So I want to say thank you to my friend Indra. So she went ahead and sent me this for you.
Okay.
It's a little custom piece. So I hope you enjoy it.
No way. Oh my goodness.
Wait.
Let me see. I'm so excited. Because you know us so well, and you always give us the most thoughtful gifts.
I know. I'm just like so good like that. Because she's a Cancer.
She's like What is this?
What is
It
that?
looks super cool. Hold on, let me open it here on the table so everybody sees.
So everyone can see.
Let me see. Sorry. Oh. Ooh, diamonds. Busy's gonna love that.
Diamonds.
Should I open one first, or?
I honestly don't know what that is.
Okay, let's
That thing, I don't know what
Let's see.
that
Let's see what this is.
is. Specifically that, I don't know.
Oh,
Cute.
Cool. Okay. Very cool.
That I know what that is.
Okay, this you know. No way, Franny. This is so cool. Wow, you know me too well. And
So-
everybody out there knows that I'm a freaking stoner.
Yes. So it's a Bad Bunny ashtray because Kendrick's one of his favorite songs is what song? I fucking forgot. The Bad Bunny song.
Estamos bien.
Estamos bien.
Yeah.
Every single time I hear that song, I always think of Kendrick. He's always playing Bad Bunny when he's cleaning the studios.
Yes,
so
big
I
time.
figured this would be the perfect gift for him. A little thank you for coming on.
Thank you,
and for being a part of
Franny.
my life in general.
Yes.
I'm very, very grateful
Thank you.
for
Thank
our
you for being a part of
relationship.
my life, honestly.
Of course.
Like, and thank you for being a part of the team and just being so awesome and motivating and doing things like this that also motivates others who are watching you. So that's so important.
For sure. And I think it was super important for you to be here because I think your story always motivates me. Whenever I lack motivation, I'm like, Kendrick,
What do I do?
what was the story again and how you created HGAB and
you
your
tell
golf
me?
balls?
Yeah.
Can you tell me again, please?
Was it ranch chips that you were selling or the cheese
Or
ones?
Cool Ranch?
There
Which
you go.
one?
So one of my favorite lines in Estamos Bien
Yes.
is it's a line that goes, El que no logra nada es porque no le mete. And basically it means that the person who doesn't succeed in anything is because they don't go out and commit to it. So that's why I love that song so much. Again, the most thoughtful gift giver is Franny. So I thank you, Franny. This is beautiful.
Of course. Thank you so much for coming.
So sweet.
And yeah, so thank you so much for listening. I hope you guys are super inspired by Kendrick's story because I always am. And yeah, I hope you guys find some motivation to do something different today. And there you go.
Yeah, and if you guys have any other questions about being an entrepreneur, can't say this.
You said it good.
And if you guys have any questions about being an entrepreneur or starting your own studio or anything at all, you can always reach out to me at Kendrick V on Instagram.
Yes, period. And to rent this awesome space, you can check out HGAB_studios at
Yes.
Instagram or visit our website. Other than that, have a great day, guys. And I hope you enjoy this tonight right after this
Yes.
because you deserve it. You worked hard today. And there you go. We're
Thank you,
wrapped.
Franny. Woo!
Bye.
Bye, guys.